Election defeats are always tough to swallow. My first experience of one as a young Labour activist in 1970 was shattering, and I don't find it any easier now. That 1970 election was called at a moment of Harold Wilson's choosing, and we were expected to win. On this occasion, we were thrust into an election at a moment and on an issue of the Tories' choosing. Their aim was to exploit our difficulty as a party with a largely Remain membership, but with 60% of our seats in Leave areas. And they succeeded. So where do we go from here? Of course, we need to look to the future, fight back and build a movement that can put us in a position to win in 2024. But to do that, to plot a pathway to power, we also need to be clear why we lost. We need to analyse why Labour slumped from, in 2017, our best popular vote for 20 years, which had allowed us to gain 30 seats, to then lose twice as many in 2019. The biggest single change was the centrality of Brexit and our position on what to do about it. In 2017, Brexit wasn't a significant factor in determining how people voted. Most people regarded Brexit as settled, and both Labour and the Tories were committed to implementing the result of the 2016 referendum. By 2019, with the collapse of Theresa May's deal, Brexit had become central again. The atmosphere was toxic, and our party was divided over whether or not to support a second referendum. Many of us argued that backing another vote would cost us a general election, whether it came before or after the new Brexit vote. Others said Labour could advocate a second referendum and still win an election by rallying the Remain vote and Labour Leave voters who didn't feel strongly about Brexit. To back this up, they frequently pointed out that 70% of the 2017 Labour voters were Remainers, which is true. But that was only an average for the whole country. In strong Leave areas, there were constituencies where 40% or even 50% plus of the Labour vote was made up of Leave supporters. The pattern of voting in May 2019 bore this out. In the EU elections, pro-Brexit parties won more than 60% of the vote in places like Ashfield, Bolsover and Stoke. When Boris Johnson was elected Tory leader, he saw us moving to supporting a second referendum and decided to seize the chance to wipe us out in Leave areas. And so it proved. Of the 60 seats we lost, 52 were Leave voting. In England, 46 of the 48 seats we lost voted Leave in 2016. In Wales, all of the 6 seats we lost were in Leave areas. It's sometimes argued that Brexit wasn't the problem because our vote went down almost everywhere. But take a closer look at the results. The trend is clear. The more Leave voting an area, the greater the swing to the Tories and the drop in our vote. In Wales, for example, our vote share fell on average by 10.1 percentage points in the 6 Leave voting seats we lost. But in Remain voting Cardiff North, it hardly changed, dropping by less than a percentage point. In England, the pattern was the same. While on average our vote share fell by 8 percentage points, the drop in the Leave seats we lost was much higher. It fell 16 percentage points in Rother Valley, 17 in Sedgefield, and a staggering 25 in Bassetlaw. Labour cannot become the largest party in 2024 without gaining around 80 seats from the Tories in England and Wales. And we can't do this if we look and feel like a Remain party, because 67 of the 80 most marginal Tory-held seats are in Leave voting areas. Now, I can hear some people saying Brexit won't be an issue in 2024. And I can hear others saying Brexit will be an issue, but it'll be such a disaster Leave voters will regret it. I'm not going to predict how much of an issue Brexit will be in 2024. But what I am certain of is we won't win these voters back by saying I told you so and attributing every negative development in the economy to Brexit. The areas we're talking about have seen virtually nothing but negative economic developments for 40 years. Why would they blame an event that's only just happened? Besides, whatever happens with Brexit, Labour has to win back the trust of voters who believe we've betrayed them. I honestly don't think we can regain trust if we elect a leader who's seen by Leavers as the prime architect of that betrayal. Keir Starmer is a very talented guy, but he's not the person to lead us to victory in 2024. Our path to a Labour government runs mainly through Leave areas, and in my view, Becky Long-Bailey is much better placed to navigate it.